after having discussed all the topics of this chapter, we are finally at the last video of this chapter. We will cover the last few topics like adjustment of capitals of partners and accounting treatments in the event of a death of a partner. We have seen that in the event of admission of a new partner, sometimes the partners may decide to adjust their capitals to be proportionate to their profit sharing ratio. In the similar way, even in the event of retirement or death of a partner, when all other adjustments happen in the books and the continuing partners establish a new profit sharing ratio, they may decide to adjust their capitals in such a way that it becomes proportionate to their profit sharing ratios. When such a decision is made, the process happens in the following stages. Firstly, the total capital of the firm is established. This is done by totaling the capital balances of all the continuing partners. Once the total capital of the firm is calculated, then the new capital of each continuing partner is calculated by dividing the total capital with the new profit sharing ratio. That is, the total capital is divided as per the new profit sharing ratio and the capital balance to be maintained by each continuing partner is established. This new capital of each partner is then compared with their existing capital balances in the books of the firm, and the excess or deficiency of capital of each partner is worked out. The partner whose existing capital is in excess of the new capital balance requirement will withdraw such excess balance, whereas the partner whose existing capital balance is less than the new capital balance requirement will bring in additional capital. When the partners adjust their capitals in the firm by either withdrawing the excess or bringing in additional capital, then journal entries are passed for such capital adjustments. If a partner's existing capital balance is in excess of the new capital balance requirement, then such excess is withdrawn. For this, such partner's capital account is debited with such excess amount and is paid to him by crediting the cash or bank account. The net effect of this entry is that the capital account gets a debit, thereby decreasing its balance, and cash is paid out to the partner. If a partner's existing capital balance is in deficit of the new capital balance requirement, then such deficit is made good by bringing in additional capital. For this, cash is received by the firm from the partner by debiting the cash account, and such partner's capital account is credited with such deficit amount. The net effect of this entry is that the capital account gets a credit, thereby increasing its balance, and cash comes into the firm from the partner. Now that we saw what is the process of adjustment of capitals and what are the journal entries for the same, let us see some situations that arise in the process of adjustment of capitals. Firstly, when the capital of the new firm as decided by the partners is specified. When the capital of the new firm is specified by the partners, then such new capital is divided and shared among the continuing partners in their new profit sharing ratio. The adjustments for any excess or deficit arising in the process is made through cash or current accounts. Secondly, when the total capital of the firm is not specified or decided. When the new capital of the firm is unspecified or undecided by the partners, then all the continuing partners' existing capitals are totaled, and this total balance is considered as the new total capital of the firm, which is then again divided and shared amongst the continuing partners in their profit sharing ratio to arrive at their new capital balance requirement. Thirdly, when the amount is payable to the retiring partner by the continuing partners in a way in which their capitals get adjusted in the new profit sharing ratio. When the continuing partners want to settle the amount due to the retiring partner in a way in which the continuing partners' capitals get adjusted proportionately, then all the partners' capitals, including the outgoing partners' capital balances, are totaled and the total balance of the new firm is established. Of this, the total capital is then divided among the continuing partners in their new profit sharing ratio, and the deficit to be brought in by the continuing partners is directly used to pay the outgoing partner, thereby paying off the retiring partner in a way in which the capitals of the continuing partners become proportionate to their new profit sharing ratio. And finally, we come to the topic of death of a partner. We saw the various accounting treatments in case of retirement or death of a partner. The accounting treatment for retirement of a partner and death of a partner is one and the same. However, in case of retirement of a partner, in journal entries, we pass entries in relation to the retired partner. But in the case of death of a partner, such partner's claim is settled with his executors and the rest of the procedure is the same. All amounts which we calculate as being due to the retiring partner, the calculations are same for death of the partner as well. However, the difference is that all the amounts due to the deceased partner are calculated till the date of death and settled with his executors.